Hey, I'm Sherman Nelson, and I am the color commentator for NBC for the Paris Olympic Games for the sport of taekwondo. And that is mouthful, and it is exciting and it's thrilling. But I want to kind of dive a little bit into my process going into the prep for these games. So the first time was in 2008 for the Beijing Olympic Games in China. And we had to report to work at 7 p.m. We worked until about, I think it was about 9 a.m. And so the first thing I remember about that experience is there was a big table right outside our studio. And on it was all the Mountain Dew and Coke products you could ever drink in a lifetime. And there was chocolate and there was candy, and they kept all of these snacks. We had like 9 coffee makers. And they said over and over again, you cannot fall asleep. We need you to be awake because you are typing online, and it is critical that your sport be updated to the moment. The second time was Tokyo, again, Asian Olympic Games. This was in 2021, reported to Stanford. And our day typically started around 6 p.m. We'd get there and have a pre-production meeting with our play-by-play and our producer and our stat guy, and then we get to work. This year, the Olympics are in Paris. It's only a 6-hour difference. So I'm assuming that we will have, I'll be in Paris. So I will probably have a 6 a.m. report time if matches start at 9 a.m. And then we will see what it does. And hopefully these matches go long. U.S. athletes move through the brackets and make it to the medal rounds. But we record and we provide commentary for every match. Every match is not broadcast on live television, but every match is covered. You have to be prepped. You got to be ready. So NBC has sent us all the files on every Taekwondo Olympian. Stuff about them and I know most of them. There's stuff about some of these people that I didn't even know because their researchers have been thorough, but they have a plethora of information. They have all the facts, all the figures, all the data you could ever imagine and you could ever need. So I'm looking forward to getting to Paris and getting these games underway. Our Olympians are fantastic people. I'm looking forward to it. And that's kind of the process. My process is, how do we tell a great story about the person? The research that NBC does is critical because it's more than just the play-by-play guy's job is to give you the X's and O's. My job in color is to fill in the spaces that he draws and fill in the spaces that he leaves. And that is to provide the background information. When it comes to our U.S. athletes, I can give you mounds of data on these guys, but I've had to study and am studying and will study for the next month all the things necessary so that I'm very comfortable with all of these athletes. When I get there, I'll be in touch with representatives from WT. We're already in touch to make sure that any updated news or information that's available I can share with NBC and make sure that we make a better picture. That's the job. The job of a color commentator is literally to color in the picture that your play-by-play guy draws. Man, so I remember talking with Steve and talking with Jose, and we wanted to reach out to NBC in 2015. We did the Olympic trials for NBC in 2016. And so we wanted to reach out to them like 2018 or 19 about the Olympics and about any spaces that they had for commentating. And we submitted a bunch of our chopping it up. Shout out to Jason Poos, my boy. We put a lot of heart and soul into that show so that it was about the experience. And it was replete with goofiness and all of these other things. And so reaching out to NBC, we didn't get any response, and then all of a sudden an email came. And that email came and they were like, hey, we've looked at some of this film. We'd like to have you come and possibly audition to be a color commentator. And I was like, say what? Oh, I was sized, but I had to play it low key. I was like, it's cool. I check my schedule, see what my schedule say. The lies. I was like, Pew. And so I had a over the phone audition, and I had to go through a match with my producer, two of my producers, and the person in charge of talent acquisition. And after the end of the audition, they were like, so we're not gonna linger, we're not gonna go back and forth, we want you to do it. And I was like, this is dope. So I was super excited. So then we worked on how we were gonna reveal it, and then leading up to the games, they said, hey, our karate guy backed out. Are you able to do karate? Do you have any experience in karate? I said, absolutely not. Have you ever called a match? I haven't. I've seen a match, but I've never called one, but I can call one for you. They were like, great. We want to have you do karate too. And I was like, you got it. And so again, I'm super excited about the prospect of doing both sports. So we had physical binders in Connecticut for Tokyo's games. So I had a binder for taekwondo about this thick, and for karate a little less thick. So I read up on all the U.S. athletes. I read up on the terms. Our play-by-play guy and I, we would be sitting there in our briefing room, just kind of going over the names of what is a penalty called, and what is this called, and what is a kick called to, and we just were quizzing each other because we wanted to make sure we did it justice. And so Tokyo was super exciting. I got to meet the crew at NBC. It was life altering, and I didn't believe that lightning could strike again, but it has.